The fastest way to build momentum in your life is with something called the winner's effect. Let's get it. All right, what is the winner's effect? It's when you start counting your wins. Because the more you keep expecting to win and count the small wins, like you just made your bed, brushed your teeth, if you just keep building that up and you start telling yourself like, hey, I did that really good. I know it seems small, right? But when you were a baby, you could not make your own bed. You barely didn't even have teeth to brush, right? So it's like these day-to-day things we get hypnotized in just because we've gotten really good at them, right? And instead, like the things that we're not good at, we'll start to like nitpick at, and we'll focus on that. Like, why am I not there yet? Why is this not done? Financial abundance, lack of financial abundance, all these things that are negative in your life and you're choosing to focus on, you're just going to see more of it. And it's not going to feel good. So why are you choosing to do that when you could just start counting your small wins and keep focusing on that? And then eventually they lead to those things that you're not winning at becoming wins. Now, it doesn't matter what you ever do in your life, expect to win. Because even if you don't, that's not a loss. It's a gain because it allows you the opportunity to get better. Not for you to wish your life was easier, wish for you to be better. Because as you get better, things become easier. Now, I play this game called League of Legends, right? And a lot of the times, and I'll play on Discord, a lot of times when somebody like loses or starts feeding accidentally in the beginning or they're just having a tough time, they want to give up. They want to give up as soon as possible. Why? Because they've already died like 2 or 3 times in the game, right? And they already feel like they're at a disadvantage. Kind of. There's been so many games, though, where those games end up becoming wins. And a lot of the times, I've had people wanting to surrender. I'm like, nah, let's just play it out. And then we end up winning. Like, you're here to play a game. You're not here to, like, focus on the win. Like, the very present moment, the journey that is the destination. If you can make that be the destination, is just the journey, you're going to have way more fun. And about 100% of the time I've noticed if I stop focusing on the negativities or my other teammates not playing well or them being negative, and I just focus on being the best that I can be in this now moment to the best of my ability, we end up winning the game. Because life is just a reflection of who you are being. And if you're having fun and enjoying yourself and you know you're going to gain something out of it, as long as you can stay in a positive vibration and have a positive outlook, you will gain the positive benefit. Like learning to brush your teeth that you now have when you once didn't. It always works out in the end. Okay, you won't be able to necessarily connect the dots where you are right now, especially with whatever it is that you're going through. And I go through my own things all the time too. And it's usually right after, you win that thing that you can connect the dots and be like, oh, now it makes sense. Because if I had not experienced all of this, I would not be who I am today. In fact, I experienced what I call a divine storm. Last year, before I started making this content full time, I had a divine storm hit. And this divine storm included people who I thought were my friends for a long time, which I found out I was a people pleaser through, right? Because I kept giving and giving. And people pleasing is also a way to like seek validation and approval. It does have a little bit of a manipulative kick because you're seeking like, oh, they'll like me. And then it becomes hard to say no to people when you have a worthiness wound, which I cleared up. And I had to do that by experiencing these people betray me. And I started realizing like, oh my gosh, I've been giving so much to them. I never said no, and on top of that, during that collapse, I ended up getting a concussion. And in the midst of all that, right before it all happened, this full-time purpose course appeared. It was a conscious business accelerator program that I joined, I'd signed up for. As this all happened, as people betrayed me, as things were collapsing, I got a concussion. And for 2 months, I could not think straight. And I had no more paid time off. Because I had just taken a medical leave because I was going through a deep depression because I found out my grandma in Bulgaria was like on her deathbed basically, and we were trying to figure out a way to bring her here back in the States so she can get better health care. And we did, and she just passed away 6 months ago also. And I got to see her every single day for almost a whole nother year. Like, you know, I was so depressed because this is the person that raised me. Like, if you watched any of my other videos, essentially, like, I was not supposed to be alive. I was supposed to be aborted. My dad kept pressing to get me aborted, and my grandma said, no, I'll raise the child. Like, let it happen. And my mom did have 2 other abortions after me. So it wasn't a joke. It was supposed to actually happen. And so my grandma, you know, allowed me to be here. And then also my dad, because he was abusive and whatnot, he actually beat my mom up and punched her in the stomach a bunch, trying to abort me himself. And you know, so I'm grateful for how I turned out. That's why I ran out of like paid time off, because I had to take a medical leave because I was just not doing well. I was so depressed. Everything was like collapsing. I had anxiety building up, and like even through there, I discovered more of myself because I finally had time to take a breath, but I also had to put in work to figure out how to get my grandma here. Anyway, so the divine storm happened. People betrayed me, and then literally as things were happening, I got a concussion because I was like, man, I want to go out and just like relax and just go dance, and I did. And somebody ran right into me and headbutted me, and like next morning, I was like, man, I don't feel so good, you know, like I couldn't think straight. And so I went to the doctor and like didn't have any more medical leave or paid time off. So like they had to let me go from my job. So it's like, you know, I had people, you know, betray me, lost the job that I wasn't enjoying anymore. Plus it was a work from home job, and they were changing the structure to having it be like, it was like 2 or 3 days a week at the location. And I'm like, nope, like I don't want to do that at all. So in a sense, it's like a divine storm. It's because everything collapses that's not in alignment for who you are becoming or where you're heading, right? But it's like through these storms, through the negativity and what feels like a loss. You know, I lost my job, I lost friends, which weren't really my friends. I mean, they were. I mean, we did actually, you know, have good times together. We had a lot of great times, and at the end, it really showed me who they really were and how they were using me. On top of that, I learned how to set boundaries. I learned that I was a people pleaser, and I learned how to make this content, right? Through all this, because through all my pain and suffering and everything collapsing, I still found the win. And that's the whole point of like this planet here is like, if you can find light in the darkness, you're doing it, baby. All right. So don't sweat it. Just know you're going to win no matter what. And now when I look back, I'm connecting the dots, and it's like, I wouldn't even be able to share what I just shared had that not happened. I wouldn't be making this video had that not happened. And at the time, it sucked. Right? And then now it's like, I feel so much more fulfilled because I just kept taking another step towards what was showing up, and I just kept accepting what showed up, and I just kept gaining from it. And now I've really reached this level of unconditional love towards everyone. No matter how bad someone did something to me, it's like I still want the best for them, right? And I hold my very conditional boundaries. And that was one of the biggest loving lessons I could learn. So focus on your wins and know you're heading in the right direction. Just keep going. And if you can't find any wins, start creating them. Create what you're already good at and just do it. I challenge you. Put a cup away, wash a dish, do some laundry, and be like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. If I can get good at this, man, imagine what else I can get good at if I just keep going. All right, so have an alchemizing day. Namaste.